Hey, why is there a hair tie here?
Mom, why did you touch it?
I only opened the mirror to fix my makeup. Am I not even allowed to touch a hair tie? Jockey left it there to check whether another woman had sat in my passenger seat. Now that you moved it, she'll definitely start a fight. How am I supposed to explain this? Jockey, I'm sorry. Mom accidentally knocked down the hair tie you left there. I really didn't mean to. Please don't take it personally. It's fine. Mom, this is all because you had to touch her stuff. Now she's going to fight with me again. Jockey should have calmed down by now, right? I even brought her a designer bag from overseas. I hope she's not mad at me anymore. Yo, Yuchi, look at this and tell me what it says. Mom, don't take it to heart. Jockey and I just got married and she's a little possessive. It's only a silly sticker. Just respect our boundaries and don't sit in the front passenger seat. Boundaries, right? You're correct. Even mothers and sons need boundaries. Then stop using my card. And from now on, I won't be helping with your mortgage or car payments either. Mom, what are you saying? I stood by the passenger door, trembling as I stared at the pink sticker. No wonder Yaoyuchi hesitated when I asked him to pick me up after my trip. I'd brought gifts from abroad for him and Guojiaki and wanted to deliver them right away. When he refused, I was about to call my driver, but Guojiaki phoned. Mom, wait at the airport. Yuchi will be there soon. I waited at the airport for half an hour with bags in both hands, only to find a pink sticker reading, Jockey's seat, no skanks and no moms allowed. I refused to get in, pointed at the sticker, and stared coldly at Yaoyuchi. What does this mean? Yaoyuchi didn't think anything was wrong. He slapped his forehead like he just remembered, pulled me away from the passenger door and shut it. Silly me. Don't sit in front. Sit in the back. Jockey stayed angry for ages after you sat there last time, but the sticker isn't aimed at you. It says, no skanks and no moms allowed. She's not calling you a skank. They're two separate groups. Only then did I notice a tiny and, no bigger than a sesame seed, between skanks and moms. But I wasn't stupid. I knew Guojiaki had done it on purpose. When I still refused to get in, Yaoyuchi grabbed and shoved me into the back seat. This is the airport pickup zone. People will yell at you if you keep standing here. You can't keep doing things that upset everyone. Besides, Chiaki is waiting for you at home. If we're late, she'll blame you again. Not long after, Yaoyuchi pulled me into their home. Guojiaki sat on the couch scrolling through her phone. She acted as if I wasn't there and only frowned at him. It takes 20 minutes to reach the airport. Add 10 minutes for parking and waiting, and the whole trip should take 50 minutes at most. Why were you gone for over an hour? Yaoyuchi checked his watch. I just helped Mom carry her luggage. Actually, Yaoyuchi lied. I didn't want to enter their home and he spent that extra time begging me downstairs. On the way, I reminded myself that I was open-minded and wouldn't compete with my daughter-in-law. That would only put my son in the middle and hurt their marriage. Online, I found that people now treat the front seat as spouse only, and even mothers and sisters are expected to avoid it. So I swallowed my anger and forced a smile. Yes, I bought too many things, so carrying them took a little longer. Mom, stop spoiling him and covering for him. Tell me the truth. Did Yaoyuchi run into some little girlfriend or did some old hag hold him up? The words old hag made my blood boil, but I still smiled. Of course not. Chiaki, haven't you eaten yet? Where's the housekeeper? That old housekeeper kept making eyes at Yuchi. I couldn't stand it, so I fired her. Some women just refuse to accept their age. She was exactly like that, old enough to know better, yet still putting on makeup at home. Why else would she do it unless she wanted to seduce Yuchi? I didn't believe a housekeeper in her 50s would try to seduce Yaoyuchi. I knew her. Honest, plain, never wearing makeup, and highly sought after. Someone else would hire her immediately. Jockey's talk about makeup was obviously aimed at me for using the vanity mirror in Yuchi's car. Still, I answered calmly. It's fine. If you thought she wasn't suitable, then firing her was your choice. You're the lady of the house. A new restaurant opened nearby. Let me take you both out for dinner. All you think about is eating out. Does money grow on trees? There are groceries in the kitchen. Just cook me a few dishes. Ask Yuchi about my dietary restrictions. He wrote them all down. You need to remember them too. I took several deep breaths before saying, I don't know how to cook. Guojiaki gave me a surprised look. You can't cook? Then what do you expect? A feudal setup where your daughter-in-law waits on you. Everyone knows the daughter-in-law is the precious one now. A mother-in-law should keep her head down, run the house, and care for everyone. But you dress up, fly around the world, and enjoy yourself. Go ask around. What mother-in-law acts like that? Even with my patience, I finally snapped. Jockey, what exactly are you saying? I travel for work, not for fun. Guojiaki looked like she'd just heard the funniest joke in the world. Work? Please. You act like it's real. You're practically retired, yet you still cling to the company and play the martyr. Isn't it just to keep us dependent on you? If it's really that hard, hand the company to Yuchi and me. Then you can stay home and take care of us while we run it. I was furious. Every thought of just letting things slide disappeared. I had never been anyone's pushover. Jockey only feels bad for you. She wants you to be a normal mother-in-law, stay home, do a little housework, and enjoy retirement. But that's just our opinion. It's still your choice. Didn't you bring Jockey a bunch of gifts from overseas? Take them out and let her see. I didn't move. I wasn't going to humiliate myself. I could swallow some hurt for Yaoyuchi's family harmony, but I wasn't about to get on my knees and beg Guojiaki to accept me. She calls them gifts for me, but her money is basically ours. If she weren't hoarding the company and all that cash, would I need her to buy me anything? I can buy whatever I want myself. She's using my money to buy me gifts. I'm not stupid. Why should I be grateful? Guojiaki fired off words like a machine gun. My head was pounding and I barely caught most of it, but I definitely heard phrases like old hag, divorce, and competing with younger women. Yuchi kept trying to calm her down. Finally, he turned on me. Why do you always have to start trouble? I told you on the way here that Chiaki was upset. Didn't you understand? Hurry up and apologize to her. What exactly did I do wrong? Was I wrong to make money so you two could live off me? Wrong to buy you gifts? Or should I be executed just for sitting in your car? When Gojaki didn't get an apology, she stormed into the bedroom and slammed the door. Yuchi looked between us, overwhelmed. But instead of going after her, he spoke to me impatiently. If I'd known this would happen, I never would have brought you home. Why are you getting worse with age? Can't you stand seeing me happy? I know Grandma mistreated you, but just because you got soaked in the rain doesn't mean you get to tear up someone else's umbrella. He ignored me, his face dark with anger, and shoved me out without another word. By the time I realized what had happened, I was barefoot in the hallway. I wanted to go back in, but thinking about their precious boundaries, I didn't enter the code. I knocked instead. No one opened the door, but Chiaki's voice came through. So this is your wonderful mother? No wonder people say you shouldn't marry into a single-parent family. She hasn't remarried all these years because she's messed up in the head. She probably treats you like a stand-in for your father. When we picked my wedding dress, I asked which one looked best. She barely spoke and said they all looked fine. I thought she was being a respectful mom who didn't meddle. Now I bet she thought none of them looked good and kept quiet because she was afraid I'd outshine her. And last time she had a driver. Why did she insist that you take her to the airport? She did it on purpose, sat in the passenger seat, used the vanity mirror, and challenged me. And you're still defending her. Are you going to be a mama's boy forever? I was shaking with rage. The door was well insulated, yet I heard every word. Yaki had to be standing beside it shouting so I'd hear. She wanted me to. So what if she's outside? So what if she hears me? I want her to hear. I can't stand that nasty old woman. We made it obvious we wanted her gone, but she's still outside knocking. What is this? Does she seriously think she's sleeping at my house tonight? Jaki's insults kept getting worse. I couldn't take it anymore, so I pressed my fingerprint to enter. But no matter how many times I tried, the lock only said, "Please try again." Jaki must have gotten tired of yelling because she turned on the video doorbell. You think I'd let another woman have the fingerprint and code to my home? I changed them already. You couldn't keep your hands to yourself in the car and touched my vanity mirror. Next, you'll open my front door, and after that, you'll walk into my bedroom. This is my house. You have 5 minutes to leave, or I'm calling the police. Mom, just go home. This really was your fault. We were going to open the door, but then you tried using your fingerprint. That's a huge boundary violation. Just leave. I knew Jaki wasn't bluffing about calling the police. No matter how angry I was, I had to swallow it and go downstairs. Standing barefoot and hungry in the freezing parking garage, I called my driver to take me home. Once I got in the car, I wasn't angry anymore. I just felt completely heartbroken. I had always thought I was a good mother-in-law. When Yuchi fell for Guojiaki, even though their backgrounds were worlds apart, I respected his choice, gave them my blessing, and paid for a lavish wedding. So they wouldn't feel controlled, I even bought them a home. Unless they invited me, I never showed up unannounced. Yuchi and Guojiaki were too lazy to work at the company. I figured I was still young enough to keep going for a few more years, so I stayed on and kept working. Just like Yuchi said, my mother-in-law mistreated me when I was young, so I swore Guojiaki would never suffer the same way. I never even raised my voice at her. She once held my arm and called me the best mother-in-law in the world. But all of that vanished because I sat in Yuchi's passenger seat and used the vanity mirror. After that, Yuchi and Guojiaki stopped contacting me. I rarely reached out first anyway, so the three of us went straight into a cold war. I didn't cry or beg them to forgive me, and that made Guojiaki furious. So 3 times a day, she posted updates visible only to me, just to get under my skin. At first, she only reposted videos of mothers sobbing at their sons' weddings, with comments implying I was some toxic mom who treated her son like property. Then she posted videos of Yuchi standing in front of her, swearing that his wife would always come before his mother. When I still didn't react, Guojiaki turned my photo black and white, added a frame and white flowers, and basically held my funeral online. That finally pushed me too far, but I still didn't contact them. I called my personal assistant instead. That call worked wonders. The very next day, after months of silence, Yuchi finally called me. Mom, what's going on? Why won't any of my cards or Jiaki's cards work? I smiled. I've thought a lot lately, and I think Jiaki was right. I got too involved in your lives. Even a mother and son need boundaries. So stop using my cards. I won't be paying your mortgage or car loan anymore either. I've thought a lot lately, and I think Jiaki was right. I got too involved in your lives. Even a mother and son need boundaries. So stop using my cards. I won't be paying your mortgage or car loan anymore either. I said it lightly, without a trace of anger. But Yuchi was the son I'd raised for nearly 30 years. He knew that when I got emotional, things weren't that serious. When I stayed calm, it meant I was truly furious. His tone softened immediately. Mom, are you kidding? I know you're upset because we haven't called, but last time you came over, you turned the house upside down. Jaki was so upset she stayed in bed for days. Mother-in-law drama has existed forever, so I was trying to keep the peace. I only stopped calling because I was comforting her and helping her see what she did wrong. I gave a quiet and cut him off. It's fine. I'm not angry. You weren't wrong. Jiaki is the woman of your home. I shouldn't have had your door code, sat in your passenger seat, or used your vanity mirror. But my biggest mistake was giving you money. It made you feel beneath me. So for the sake of equality, I had no choice but to freeze the cards. Look, before I froze them, we went months without speaking. The moment I did, you called, and now we're talking so sweetly. Clearly, this method works. Yaoyuchi started stammering. Mom, I didn't call because of the cards. I called because Jackie knows she was wrong. We wanted to buy you a gift at the mall and bring it over to cheer you up. That really made me laugh. If the gift is for me, why were you trying to pay with my card? That doesn't sound right. Yaoyuchi grew even more awkward. In my previous life, Gojaki had once said, using my own money to buy me a gift? Do you think I'm stupid? When Yaoyuchi had nothing left to say, I didn't press him. I only smiled and said, don't worry about the gift. Save your money. Starting next month, you'll have to pay your own mortgage and car loan. That was when Yaoyuchi finally dropped the act. Mom, do you really have to do this? I admit Jiaki said some things she shouldn't have, but you started it. You're my mother, yes, but Jiaki is the person closest to me. You crossed a line when you sat in my passenger seat. If you'd apologized properly and cooked Jiaki a meal, this would have been over. But what did you do? Jiaki was right. All your kindness was fake. You just wanted to control me. When that stopped working, you froze my cards. Did you really think I'd give in? I didn't answer. Whether he gave in no longer mattered to me. I only said coldly, I don't have time to control you, and stop saying things just to provoke me. For now, I've only frozen the cards and stopped paying your loans. Don't forget, the house and cars may be in your name, but I paid for them. If you have no gratitude at all, I won't hesitate to sue and take everything back. Yaoyuchi was furious. I'm your only son. Everything you own is supposed to be mine. Treat me like this and you'll regret it. Honestly, I did regret it. I never should have answered the call. So I said nothing else, hung up, and blocked both of them. Yaoyuchi and Gojiaki kept calling and texting me. I skimmed the messages, just insults and curses. Luckily, I have thick skin, so I couldn't care less. After blocking them, I immediately called my legal team, had them draft an agreement cutting all family ties, and revise my will. They were cursing me so viciously that I thought, what if they snapped and arranged an accident just to inherit my estate? That risk wasn't worth taking. So my will now states clearly, if I die, every cent goes to Project Hope. Yaoyuchi and Gojiaki get absolutely nothing. After I mailed the severance agreement and the new will, they finally went quiet. I assumed they were scared. I even thought that if years from now they sincerely apologized and truly changed, I might give them one more chance. But once again, I gave them too much credit. Soon, relatives, friends, and even business partners began calling me, and every call was about the same thing. Yuchi just called asking us for money. We don't have much ourselves, but he was crying so hard that we felt bad and lent him a little. That was when I realized they hadn't stopped bothering me because they were sorry. They had simply started borrowing money everywhere using my name. And borrowing wasn't all. Yaoyuchi tearfully told everyone I'd found a new lover 30 years younger, lost all dignity over him, believed his lies, canceled their cards, and demanded to cut them off. Since they had the severance letter I mailed as proof, plenty of people believed them. They pitied Yuchi and urged me not to act rashly. I gritted my teeth, explained everything one person at a time, repaid the loans, and warned everyone not to give him another cent. I knew this couldn't continue, so I contacted Yuchi and asked to meet. He replied immediately. But the person who showed up at my home wasn't him. It was Gojaki, along with several friends from her live streaming days. They sat across from me like a mob confronting a supposed homewrecker. What, you expected Yuchi? You think I don't know what you've been doing? All that kindness toward me was fake. You wanted Yuchi to see you as the perfect mother and mother-in-law, so he'd believe you whenever you badmouthed me. But I'm not stupid. I saw through you, so I used the situation to make you and Yuchi turn against each other. I frowned. Gojaki had clearly let too many online stories and melodramatic shorts rot her brain. Before I could speak, the friends she'd brought started chiming in sarcastically. Jiaki may have used the situation, but she was absolutely right. Exactly. Today you accidentally opened the vanity mirror and ruined the marker Jiaki left. Tomorrow those grabby hands might accidentally start opening her bedroom door. Drop the sweet, innocent grandma act. How can you behave like this and still face your late husband? You thought canceling their cards would stop Jiaki? Haven't you heard that true love matters way more than money? Seeing your son love another woman this much must be killing you inside. I had no idea what nonsense they were rambling about. I cut them off impatiently and tossed an agreement onto the table. You've all said plenty. Can I speak now? This is... What, you want me to sign this, take some money, and leave Yuchi? Dream on, staying with him gets me the whole cake. Why would I run off with a little frosting? You may be stupid, but I'm not. I shook my head. No. Save the performance. I'm not interested. I came in Yuchi's place because he's too kind to say certain things himself. Since you contacted him, you must know you were wrong. If you know you're wrong, then fix it. We're reasonable people. Starting today, you'll leave the company and hand over every asset in your name. Half to me and half to Yuchi. We'll take over the business. From then on, you'll stay home and take care of all our needs, like a woman and mother-in-law should. Behave yourself and I'll support you in old age and make sure you're comfortable. I nodded thoughtfully. So this is what you and Yaoyuchi decided? You want me to become your live-in maid? Of course, Yuchi does whatever I say. I smiled. Perfect. I invited Yuchi here today so he'd sign this agreement cutting all family ties. I'm handing him over to you completely. I mailed him a copy before, but he never signed it. Since you hate me so much and he trusts you completely, call him over and have him sign now. Only then did they realize it wasn't some confidentiality agreement paying her to leave my son. It was a formal agreement ending our family relationship. They fell silent, stared at one another, and finally all turned toward Gojaki. Jackie, what do we do? Gojaki didn't even look at the document, though her expression shifted. Still, she recovered quickly. She refused to believe it and gave a cold laugh. Don't play hard to get with me. I use that trick all the time while live streaming. You're only doing this to scare us into begging and apologizing. I'm not an idiot. Yuchi is your only son. Who'll take care of you after you cut him off? I also know you loved your husband deeply. After he died, you never remarried because you devoted yourself to raising Yuchi. You've done everything for him. There's no way you'd cut him off. Sons abandon mothers, not the other way around. Honestly, I couldn't blame them for being so confident. Everything they said was true. I had never lived for myself. My whole life revolved around Yao Yuchi. But when they threw me out barefoot, the cold finally woke me up. A loving mother and devoted son is wonderful, but if the mother is loving and the son is cruel, must she endure forever? I am my own person before I am anyone's mother or wife. So no, I had never planned to forgive Yao Yuchi. Gojaki's confidence made me laugh. I'm worth hundreds of millions. If I wanted, plenty of sons more devoted than Yao Yuchi would line up to care for me. Besides, haven't you watched the Spring Festival Gala? Robots are incredibly advanced these days. Give it another 10 or 20 years. When I'm truly old, robots can take care of me. A robot won't care where I sit or whether I'm wearing makeup. Once it was clear I wouldn't back down, Gojaki and I parted on bad terms. I didn't hesitate either. I messaged every relative and friend, posted a public notice, and even ran one in the newspaper so those two could never profit off me again. But I soon noticed something was wrong. Everywhere I went, people stared at me strangely. I found it odd, but didn't think much of it. Until one day, Xiao Yue, a new intern at my company, couldn't stay quiet any longer. Chairwoman, you need to see this. I took Xiao Yue's phone. It was Yao Yuchi and Guojiaki's live stream. After a few months apart, they looked worn out. Without me funding their comfortable lives, they'd lost weight and seemed to have aged 10 years. But what shocked me most was what they were saying. Some of you may know me and wonder, if my mom is worth hundreds of millions, why am I living miserably in a basement? You may not believe this, but after more than 20 years, this is somehow the safest place I've ever lived. After my dad died, my mom became a different person. She controlled everything, from what I wore to who I was friends with. After I got married, she kept asking who was prettier, her or my wife, and who mattered more to me. Exactly. Once she asked my husband who he'd save if she and I fell into the water. He only said, "Mom, you're a much better swimmer than I am, so we'd save Jiaki together." She exploded, kicked us out, and cut us off. We have no other choice now. We're trying to make a little money from streaming, just enough to eat. The chat flooded with insults toward me, and some viewers even started making up serious allegations. Xiao Yui couldn't stand watching anymore. Chairwoman, I know I probably shouldn't have shown you this, but I know you're not a bad person. My village was impoverished. You built us a school, and that's how I got the chance to leave the mountains. So I believe you. Xiao Yu's words hit me hard. She'd received only a little help from me, yet trusted me completely. Meanwhile, the son I'd loved and raised all his life could keep smearing me online without blinking. My mom only got where she is because countless men helped her behind the scenes. I couldn't stand what she was like, so I'd rather walk away with nothing than apologize. I patted Xiao Yue's shoulder gratefully, found the live stream on my own phone, unblocked Yao Yuchi and Guojiaki, and sent them a screenshot. I waited, but no reply came. When I sent a question mark, I realized they'd blocked me. Worse, the message screen I'd sent was soon displayed in their live stream. My mom must have seen the stream. Now she wants to apologize and pay us to stay quiet. Before, I might have accepted, but not anymore. I won't let everyone keep falling for her lies. She's not a good person, let alone an ethical businesswoman. And I'd warn any young, handsome interns to stay away from her company. Plenty of good-looking guys have already been driven crazy by my mom. After that, the chat became even uglier. Then, egged on by helpful viewers sending gifts, Yao Yuchi and Guojiaki publicly shared my email and social media accounts. That was my first taste of full-blown online harassment. Some people cursed me. Some offered to become my godsons. Others tried to extort me, demanding money or threatening to use AI to fake photos and videos of me and make me famous. One by one, viewers reported in the livestream what they'd done to me. Yao Yuchi and Guojiaki looked more pleased by the second. I didn't hesitate. I called my lawyer. What's the threshold for a case involving leaked personal information? And what charges apply to public insults, fabricated claims, and defamation in a livestream? Not long after that call, law enforcement officers accompanied by my lawyer removed Yao Yuchi and Guojiaki during the stream. Once they were taken away, those kind-hearted viewers only became more worked up. You've got the villain wrong. Arrest Kui Peijian, the woman who abandoned her own son. How can you arrest Yao Yuchi and Guojiaki? Children respect loving parents, but the parents have to be loving first. Are toxic parents allowed to exploit their kids while the kids aren't allowed to fight back? But some people, like Xiao Yue, began speaking up for me. Chairwoman Kui isn't like that. She treats people well at the company, and has never done any of the things Yao Yuchi claimed. Exactly. She's an ethical businesswoman. How can you believe Yao Yuchi and Guojiaki's lies? That's not what happened. Stop feeding on someone else's suffering. Plenty of people defended me, but most still didn't believe them. There are too many hypocrites who look perfect outside and act like monsters at home. I refused to keep living with that label, so I created an account and posted a detailed statement explaining everything. I started with the original incident, sitting in the front passenger seat and accidentally opening the vanity mirror. Few people believed my post. They thought it sounded absurd. Fortunately, I had more evidence. I contacted the management office at Yao Yuchi's apartment complex and obtained security footage of me being thrown out barefoot. Because it was an upscale complex, the footage had audio and clearly captured Guojiaki insulting me. I also posted screenshots of the messages where the two of them cursed me, showing everyone how they'd attacked and threatened me without any provocation. Then I found footage of Guo bringing her entire friend group to my home and forcing me to serve them like a maid. With all that evidence, the truth finally came out. The attacks against me quickly disappeared. People realized Yao Yuqi and Guo had fooled them, so they turned all that rage, and more, against the couple. But the two had already been detained and had no idea what was happening online. Rumors and doxing weren't even the most serious offenses. To reduce her own sentence, Guo confessed that they had planned to hire someone abroad to kidnap me. Their minor case instantly became a major one. Before sentencing, I went to see Yao Yuqi. All his former self-righteousness was gone. It was her idea. She said you're still young, and if you had another child, I'd lose everything. That's why she talked me into hiring someone. You weren't even hurt, and I'm your only son. Please let me go. If you do, I'll divorce her and take good care of you. Do it for Dad. I shook my head. Be grateful your father died early. With his temper, he might have beaten you senseless. And just because I wasn't hurt doesn't mean you didn't intend to hurt me. I'm not stupid enough to forgive an ungrateful son like you. Yao Yuqi didn't believe me. Then why are you here? I pulled out a document. This is the family severance agreement you never signed. I'm here to get your signature. Yao Yuqi broke down. He didn't want to sign, but the promise of a letter asking for leniency was too tempting. After a long hesitation, he finally signed. When he asked for the letter, I smiled. I forgive you for throwing me out. The lies, the doxing, and hiring someone to kidnap me are not included. I turned and left, ignoring Yao Yuqi's screams. Instead of returning to the company, I handed it over to professional managers, took a photo of my late husband and me, and boarded a plane. We'd always wanted to see the world. At first, we couldn't afford it, and later we ran out of chances. Now I no longer had to spend my life working for an ungrateful son. I was finally going to live for myself. After all, I was still young.